Okay, so with respect to the coming speakers, I will just start now. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here at the EHRCON conference. What an amazing event so far, and this room as well, quite impressive, especially the size of the screen. I hope the quality of my slides will keep up to that. Yeah, so I'm working for vitagroup. I'm the CEO of vitagroup. Why am I doing this? I've been in this industry for 25 years now, and the first 15 years was like I was trying to implement digital-based innovative processes in Germany, like discharge processes, intersectoral processes, telemedicine, stuff like that. And the story was always like 40% of the time I was writing data security concepts. 40% of the time I was paying big vendors, big money for always the same interfaces that don't work. In the last 20% I could focus actually on the project. So when I joined vitagroup 7 years ago, I think that would be the opportunity to build something that we call an open health data platform, to liberate the health data, as we call it. And I will talk today a little bit about what we are doing, what we have reached so far, and of course also the connection with AI. Everybody's talking about it so far today, but I will show you some practical examples. But first of all, for me it's very important to transport the understanding of what makes a health platform actually open. First of all, and I think everybody will agree here, is that the core of it is that the data has to exist in open standards. FHIR for communication, openEHR for persistence, whatever you want to use, but don't go for a proprietary model, that otherwise you are in the same trap again. But that's not enough. So from a customer point of view, that's actually only one point of an open health data platform. Next thing is you have to provide open access. What I mean by that is that the business model has to be independent of the amount of data that is used. Don't charge for the interfaces, charge for the value. The next thing I think about what makes it truly vendor independent is that the core of it, where the data is actually saved and stored, is open source. That's how we started, with an open source implementation of openEHR, which is called Airbase. Also HiMate contributed very much to that implementation, and this is actually used worldwide today in projects that we are not even aware of. The next step is an open ecosystem. So we are really focusing only on that data layer. We are not building any applications, because I think for the vendor neutrality, that separation of the layers from the data backend, the process layer and the application layer is actually what makes it independent. If you just put an openEHR backend and then you build something monolithical on top of that, you again have a one vendor lock-in. So our mission is really to integrate data into that backend and provide real-time transactional communication with the applications that run on top of that. That's one of the core messages I really want to bring over, that it's not only openEHR alone that makes it an open health data platform. And of course, the architecture has to reflect that. So provide APIs to access every data point, provide architecture that really is modular and really supports different scenarios. Yeah, as I said, solutions are used worldwide, but I will now talk about the commercial product, which is called the Health Intelligence Platform. We started in Germany. We sold the first instance of the Health Intelligence Platform beginning of 22. Today we are in around 140 hospitals in Germany. And of course we started very optimistic. We have openEHR, and then we put some FHIR around it, and then the integration problem is solved. But actually we spent the last 2 years dealing with HL7 messages, integrating, mapping, and cleaning up the data for our customers. So that was a steep learning curve, how to really integrate that open health data platform into an actually existing infrastructure. So what are our customers actually doing with the health intelligence platform? And by the way, there are some exceptions. For example, here, Catalonia, where you saw the timeline of the development of the concepts that led to the open health data platform that we have here today. That was an evolution of like 20, 30 years, if I understood Jordi correctly. But not everybody, not every hospital, not everybody's thinking in that strategic transformation way. They want to do something right away. That's what our customers are doing with the platform. Enhanced patient engagement, so bringing together telemedical services with the core hospital information system. Real-time data-driven healthcare, I will get more into that a little bit later, but also regional EHRs for populations, as here in Catalonia. I will also talk about that project in a minute, but also secondary use. So we have a couple of customers who start with secondary use of the data. And one thing that pops up at the moment, because you know the situation about the hospital information system, ISH-MED. So we don't provide a hospital information system. We don't provide the clinical processes, as I said before. But the customers are using that chance to, let's say, introduce a data backend into their architecture so that they have a little bit independence of the next vendor they are buying. So this is what our customers are doing with that. I want to go now a little bit into depth about 3 customers, actually, just to show you what we are doing. So in Catalonia, we started this project roughly 2 years ago with our partner IBM, who's the prime contractor, but we are delivering the openEHR CDR. And meanwhile, this platform is in production. It's used. We have 13 million health records growing. These numbers are a couple of weeks old, actually. A lot of vital signs, medical care records, conditions, over 1 billion compositions, openEHR compositions stored in the data, 50 billion archetypes, a lot of primary and healthcare facilities already assessing it. And now the next step is that on top of that data backend, applications connect, legacy applications, but also new applications. We have 10 at the moment in production and a growing pipeline of applications that connect to the platform more and more. So, and you just heard Jordi this morning, the tender with the open health data platform on top of it, which will be the marketplace actually, and the process for bringing application onto that platform is now the next step for that. So we are really, really grateful to have the opportunity to have that project, which is, I think, a real important one for the whole openEHR community. But there are other things that, and other customers that didn't think about openEHR in the first place. For example, Asklepios. Asklepios is one of the leading, I think, the second largest private hospital group in Germany. They have almost 170 facilities. And they wanted to bring, and they have inside these facilities, they have 3 different hospital information system vendors, but also a lot of other stuff, of course. And they wanted to introduce what they call the data-driven healthcare. So they also want to implement an ecosystem of apps for direct care services. They want to optimize the processes, but also, of course, develop new business models with data as the center of it. So this is what we are doing. Another one, I think, for the secondary and research use case, quite interesting. It's much smaller than Catalonia, but a little bit more complicated because that hospital opted, that university wanted to have everything on premise. 8 hospitals, 8 times on premise. Makes it not really easy. So 8 hospitals now got the health intelligence platform inside. The data is consolidated in a central instance of the health intelligence platform. Then you have the patient consent, the anonymization services and stuff like that to push forward the data to the medical informatics initiative and data network in Germany. So this is what we are doing. This is what we are selling. And our role is always the role of that data backend. Very often we are not the prime contractor, but we are delivering the technology for that. And we are not building the applications on top of that. That is always the role of the partners. And yeah, I mean, you heard the speech of Bart this morning, so this was I think, very interesting. A lot of also papers in that, and I summarized it a little bit on a more high level, to be honest. So how do we help now our customers to overcome the barriers of AI adoption? And we heard it a couple of times, AI is only as good as the data that is underlying it, and that, of course, is the main value that we are bringing to it. So the poor data quality, we are providing structured, high-quality data, and the most important thing, whenever a partner that has an AI application already is in place in some of our, in one of our customer sites, they can replicate the same at another customer site. So this is the integration effort, which is most of the time, this is also something that in one of the panels Jordi was talking about, most of the time the work is in integration, adaptation to the real data, so we can help here. But of course, you also have most of the time biased or incomplete data sets. So what we provide with openEHR, because it's built for that, are longitudinal diverse data from different sources. And yes, we are in a AI hype, but we still have very slow, at least in the markets that I know, real adoption of use cases in the, in the clinical or at least clinical close processes. Most of the time it's in administrative and billing processes, so everything about clinical data is still very slow, and here we are helping with reducing the integration effort. Plus, of course, a lot of these AI vendors, again, are in themselves monolith, so they provide the front end, they provide the model, the AI model, but also the data backend. And this is, again, something, a trap that our customers don't want to fall for. So we want to keep the data control really inside the institution of our customers. Last but not least, and I will go into detail in the next slide, it's still very risky. So please find me a hospital who says, here, you can have my data, just play around with that, see where we land, train your AI on our data, it's okay. So you will never get past the data protection guy in this case, at least not in the markets that I know. So how do we deal with that? And what we built is a synthetic data service for openEHR data. So what we can actually do is on base of our, oops, that was the wrong. I have no pointer, no. So based on the real instances of the HIP Health Intelligence Platform, we can reproduce data sets that resemble the statistical values of the original data sets. But it's something else than pseudonymization of data, because it's a completely new data set that has the same, or more or less the same, statistical characteristics. And this makes it quite interesting, because this data set can be used in any way you want to use. You can send it around, you can play around with that. This is a research topic for itself. So if we want to really go that far, that we use that data, for example, to test medical devices, this is still a huge effort. But what we can do with it, so we provide an instance, a tenant of the Health Intelligence Platform with complete synthetic data, and our customers and their partners, ecosystem partners, can play around, try the integration stuff, try if it works, before actually they introduce that in their daily clinical workflows. So that's the first, let's say, AI-centered use case and module we are introducing into the platform. And this is something, because this is still in the data layer, we are doing by ourselves. This is not something that our partners is doing. This is something we provide ourselves. But here I want to just to give you a short idea of what we can do with the data that we have in the Health Intelligence Platform. And it's important to understand that in the Health Intelligence Platform, we are not only storing high-structured openEHR data. So we want to give the customer a place where they can store all the data, including unstructured data, PDFs, documents, Fire. We have a full-blown Fire store as well in the Health Intelligence platform, and openEHR. And as you see on the left side, that layer graphic, I think that represents quite well our role. So we provide the data and the integration layer. And on top of that, up to 12 months ago, I would have only put the process layer and the application layer, but now we have something else, which is called the model layer, actually. This is where the coordination between AI models or AI agents, as Bart showed this morning, lives. And we've here produced a end-to-end automation workflow together with a partner, which is called HealthForce. They are from Spain. You can meet the CEO, Fadi, at our booth afterwards if you want to talk to him. So, and what this is actually doing, on top of the platform, it's solving the very, very manual, heavy workload of filling out registry data. At least in Germany, so every hospital is forced to send register data to registries. And what this, and it's a very manual work, so the people have to go through all the systems in the hospital, collect the data, put them in an Excel sheet, and I don't know, next quarter do the same again. What this technology is doing, so we are extracting the structured and unstructured data from the Health Intelligence platform, and then automatically fill out the register data. And as you can see, we also provide like the confidence levels. So of course we still have the human in the loop. And if you go in there, you also see the original source and the original data, so you can check and in the end accept or not accept what the agent has been done. But everything else before that, the integration, so looking at different systems and sorting every single case to that form and filling out that workflow is completely automated. So yeah, you see just the process of it, and in the end, so it's you can also adapt the data fields, of course, that you need for different registers or even for different meanings. So the idea to collect data from separated systems and put them together for some kind of reporting is something that's happening every day. It takes a lot of workload, and we are here automating that, and in the end, also automatically sending this data to the register. Another use case, this is actually, well, just to showcase something else. So our development infrastructure is completely based on AWS, and we also migrated a lot of customers in the last 18 months to AWS, which is an important partner for us. But I think, well, you know the geopolitical situation, and of course we also get the feedback, please don't put the data into AWS from some customers, not from all. Those who have put the data there, they are happy. But this is something, so how do you connect our health intelligence platform to a complete separated infrastructure where we are not running our system? And in this case, we have connected the health intelligence platform to the Open Telecom Cloud, which are running a complete tech stack, let's say made in Germany from the ground up, only open source data, AI models in that tech stack. And in the middle, we've put an openEHR MCP server, and this is a nice story because that MCP server was actually built and developed by someone out of our open source community. That shows that this approach with the open source community is working. And of course, for production level, for enterprise level, we have to add some stuff. But what it allows you, as you can see here on the right side, it allows you to chat with the openEHR API. So even I, as someone who is not really on that technical level, can now say, okay, please, openEHR, give me all the information, all the medication that you have for this specific patient, for example. And this is, of course, a very good starting point for conversational AI, building these kind of interfaces that Bart was also talking about this morning. So this is what we are doing in the context of AI. It's always the same story. We are providing the data backend. We are providing the security layer. We are providing the audit logs, who has accessed which data point when, including AI agents, so that our ecosystem partners don't need to worry about this anymore. And now coming already more or less to the end, because I want to re-emphasize, and then I also have 2 action points for you. So this is the actual ecosystem we have at the moment. And the majority of these apps are not running natively on openEHR, but almost every one of them is speaking FHIR. So, and that, of course, is very important that we also integrate that kind of ecosystem. So we've built with the Health Intelligence Platform Bridge technology to integrate FHIR apps as well. And we want to reinforce that and speed that up together with you. And so we started an HIP app partner program as of now. So when you have a solution that you think should be running on an open data platform, so you have access to the ecosystem of where we are in. So please just scan the QR code. You will be led to the landing page where the whole process started, where we onboard you and work together with you. You can also come to our booth later on. And yeah, we are looking forward to working together with you, again, sticking really to that strategy. We stay at the data layer. And there's another announcement I want to make. Some of you have been attending our HIP summit this year in March in Munich. It was quite a good event. I want to announce that we will make another HIP summit next year here in March. So if you want to come onto the list, of course it's somehow restricted to seats, but if you want to register apply for registration, please also here scan the QR app or come to our booth. One last point I do not forget, there's one guy from our team who's quite well known in the openEHR community. He's not here this year because he had to decide between, as he put it, being divorced because he would not go with his family on vacation or being here. So Birger says hello from Greece. This is from today, and hello to everybody. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks so much, Nils. Have we got any quick questions at all? Yes, we've got one question down here. Yeah. You can speak loud. That sounds good. I'll repeat it back.
I'm very curious on the analytical case for Catalonia. If you're using openEHR directly with AQL, or you're using any middleware to get the analytics.
Yeah. So AQL is built for patient-centered queries and also cross-patient-centered queries. So I think openEHR is not the right technology to do big data. So what we do, we can fill. I mean, depends on the use case that you are really now applying to. But if you want to do research in the sense of a data warehouse, that is not something openEHR is built for. It's built for patient-centered processes.
Thank you so much, Nils. Round of applause.